If there is pain, acknowledge it, know it. If there is pleasant feeling, know it. If there is no pleasant feeling or painful feeling, then acknowledge that this is equanimity. And these three feelings are temporary. You can observe these feelings starting from your head, through entire body. Painful feeling doesn't mean that something very painful, something very poisonous. It means that you don't like something which you don't like in your body. Something which makes your mind disturb, uncomfort. So whatever makes our mind uncomfort, painful, unpleasant, this should be considered as painful feeling. So whatever happens in the body, you just observe. And consider them as temporary. They are not permanent. And slowly you come to experience that all the feelings boils down some small feelings. Remain alert and focused on the body. If there is heaviness, lightness, itching, and anything, vibrating, sweating, heat, cold, or any sensation, just experience it and how long it lasts. Just stay with the sensation, with the feelings, with the experience. You don't have to give the names, just experience. Just see whatever you experience and how long it lasts, how long it remains, how long it remains, how long it lasts. With this insightful mind, let us wish for all the beings for their happiness and well-being. May all beings in this hall, may all beings in this vihara be happy, may all beings be peaceful, may all beings be freed from fear, may all beings be freed from dangers. You can visualize this hall, this vihara, just spread your love to this city. You can visualize this city. May all beings in this city, human beings, non-human beings, visible, invisible, may all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be freed from fear and accidents. May all beings be happy. Similarly, you can visualize the entire map of India, the entire map of Earth. Just visualize the infinity space. May all beings in this earth, in this universe, may all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. With this, slowly open your eyes and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
प्लीज़ कम फॉरवर्ड उपासिकास, सामने आ जाइए थोड़ा। we'll have some Dhamma talk, थोड़ा Dhamma प्रवचन होगा। कुछ अभी बैठ जाइए, इसकी बात करें। नमो बुद्धाय, नमो धम्माय, नमो संघाय। Most Venerable Bade Bhante Ji, Venerable Bhikshu Sangh, and dear Samne Rana Garika, and dear Upasakas, Upasikas. Very good evening to everyone. Today is Sunday as well as Katrina Day, so twice day today, important day. We all gather every Sunday, and many of you gather here every Sunday. So today our Bhantes came from Bangalore headquarters. Many senior Bhantes, our Anand Bhante Ji, our General Secretary Bhante, and Sugatananda Bhante, Secretary Bhante, and Buddha Datta Bhante on my right side is our Director for Mahabodhi Research Center that conducts diploma and PhD course in Buddha Dhamma. So now I request Bhante to share a few words of Dhamma, anything that Bhante wishes to share. So we'll listen to him.
Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, to the Perfect One, to the Supremely Enlightened One. Homage to our teacher, Most Venerable Bada Bhante. And gratitude to our abbot, Guru Bhante Ji. And Most Venerable Mahasangha, who is assembled here. And dear Samaneras and Upasakas and Upasikas. At the outset, I would like to thank Venerable Buddhapala Bhante for giving me this privilege to share a few words of Dhamma with you. And first of all, I must share our joy and happiness for being took part in this evening and this Kathina Chivaradana. So those who have attended in the morning, you must have witnessed a spectacular, a very beautiful ceremony of offering Kathina Dana to the Mahasangha. And we also give our rejoice, our anumodana with you. I mean, the community here are so faithfully, they observed and offered this dana to the Sangha. So this is a form of happiness unlikely this kind of happiness which we don't get in our daily life. When our life is very much occupied with our duties, with our work, with our family responsibilities, and so many ways we cut off. And from the morning until till night, what we do is just the same thing which you do every day, right? A kind of a mechanical, monotonous way of doing. Getting up in the morning, doing your chores, or then you rush to your work, and then the evening falls in, come back home and sleep, then get up, then go. So we just take the life as it is. But no doubt there is happiness, some sort of happiness, which we perceive through our senses. Because this is a sensual world where our happiness is mostly dependent on the things we see, things we hear, things we, enjoy through our senses. But apart from those kind of happiness, there are even a greater happiness. So when our search for happiness is not conditioned, and then that happiness lasts long. For example, listening to the Dhamma, or before that, I should tell you this dana, offering this dana, is a wonderful thing to feel happy. Why? Because we are performing some kind of good deeds, some kushala karma to the body. Unlikely in our homes, what we do is, they are not punyas. Punya is something which purifies the mind, which has this kushala as the root, a wholesome chetana as the root. So when you come to the vihara and offer this dana with a lot of respect and gratitude and out of appreciation, we call them as saddha dana, sakkacha dana, and without expecting anything. Whereas in our life, everything is so born out of expectation. What you give to the people, you share with someone, but still you expect, right? Our life is very much conditioned with expectation and what sort of craving. We give something and we also have this return. We want something back. Otherwise, we don't feel to give anything. So, here in the monastery, when you are coming to the vihara and offering to the sangha, you literally take your mind to another level. The mind is no more into that world. You uplift your mind and giving this dana with a good intention, right? The intention of accumulating that merit. And that is a form of happiness which I'm talking about. So dana can give you happiness, for no doubt. Listening to the Dhamma. How many times you listen Dhamma every day? Do you really listen? We listen so many things, and when you just open your smartphone, you have so many whole world here in this phone, and we are so much attached to these sensual things and our happiness in this phone. Without this phone, no happiness, right? But listening to the Dhamma, listening to the discourses, listening to the teachings of Lord Buddha can give you a better understanding of life after all. It will give you better clarity and it can remove your doubt, right? And what you have not heard before, you will get to hear this. And you will have absolute calmness. Like now, you are listening You're committing yourself, sitting down, calming the body, listening to Dhamma. Isn't a good practice? Just to be, nothing doing, simply sitting quietly and, listening and trying to focus your mind on the words of the Buddha. So listening, Dhamma Savanang is a sort of sukha, happiness. Bhavana, this bhavana, meditation is happiness. Don't you think so? If meditation is a torturous and painful experience, then the Buddha wouldn't have taught us meditation. We want happiness through meditation, but problem is that we don't really try to meditate, and we bring so many sort of desires, and yes, I want happiness, but we are not prepared to let go and sit down. When you sit down quietly and still the mind and body, then you will feel happy. Problem is that our mind is not still and not concentrated, not one-pointed. That is how we are slaves of our own defilements. We create our own miseries. And then we begin to blame the whole world that, yes, why I am miserable. But the misery is actually born out of your own mind through greed, hatred, ignorance, or any forms of defilements whatsoever. So how many times or how many minutes in a day really you watch your mind? What is my mind is doing? What it is thinking? Am I really be mindful about me, about my mind? Am I really taking care of it? These questions you should ask. But to ask such questions, you have to sit in meditation. Then you'll know what your mind is behaving, how it is behaving, what kind of temperament and character and habits you have, you see, and how this, your own thought process condition the things, right? Like now you are sitting, but you might be thinking something else. That means your mind is engaged with some kind of objects. That is called aramana, Dhamma aramana. Not Dhamma, any kind of object through you hear, through you perceive, through you see, and you might have some sort of experience and you are reliving that experience right now. So, bhavana is happiness, right? But to experience this happiness, you have to prepare, you have to give some time every day. You might not experience that happiness just by one sitting. The happiness is only comes when your vitarka, your thinking, your thoughts are reduced, and then you have that joy, right? Might be there is a pool, and when the pool is so turbulent and you can't really see the water. So the mind is like that. When it is so disturbed with lot of thoughts, then we don't really feel joyful, we don't really feel calm. And then with that agitated mind, again you feel so miserable all the time. Right? Don't you feel agitated in the mind? You feel irritated, you feel very helpless, you feel depressed, and so on. So, while doing meditation, when you are letting go your thoughts and your mind is settled down, and then you will see that calm mind will give rise to happiness, calmness in you. First of all, you feel calm. You feel concentrated. You feel really don't disturbed and bothered about anything. It is not that you become like a monk, but it is good if you become a monk. But at least you'll have clarity, you have understanding about your own mind. So meditation is a happy experience after all. Then what kind of happiness is that? I have already shared 3 happiness. Sharing is happiness, and then to meditate is happy, because this meditation is not depending on anything. You might be asking me, well, I don't have money, I don't have anything to give. Well, just meditate. Just give some time for yourself, for your own sitting practice. Make it a habit. Well, I will meditate. I'll give some time for cleaning my mind. Make my mind so orderly, organized, so that I'll have good thoughts, positive thoughts, wholesome thoughts, noble thoughts, kind thoughts, benevolent thoughts, renunciation thought, giving up, detachment, and so on. So, again, not to do bad is also a happiness. Not to do bad is happiness. Why? Because our karmas, our actions, if they are wrong, it brings miseries. That we know. Don't you know this? You know this? But when still you do? Still you do. That means we really have not known, we really have not really understood that how it brings miseries. So, that means developing wholesome qualities, wholesome things, and giving up this wrong, unskillful things, and then you are happy. A person who actually cultivates more goodness, more wholesome things, by way of, let's say, like our upasikas, and some of you are really observing the precepts very well. You keep up your silas, right? And you are happy. Why? Because you are not doing wrong. Your body is so trained that you cannot be doing anything wrong. Your speech is so well controlled that you cannot speak wrong. And that is exactly what this sila does, is it makes you to perform good, speak good. Therefore, not to do akushalas. The Buddha says that papanang akaranang sukhang. Papanang akaranang sukhang. Not to do this evil is sukha. Right? So, because our mind is so afflicted all the time, Buddha also said that abhyapajjang sukhang loke. A mind, when it is not afflicted with greed, with hatred, with ignorance, and with our conceit, with our mana, with our arrogance. I'm not talking about physical afflictions, but how a mind is also afflicted mentally, we have to understand. And that, to understand that, you have to go even deeper. When we say dukkha, suffering is not in terms of the body. When I say sukha, sukha is not in terms of body alone. Sukha is also in terms of your mind. Right? You might have everything, all the luxuries, all the comforts you need, but again, you are not happy. That means you are not looking for happiness to body, you need happiness in the mind. You see? So, therefore you need understanding, wisdom, and to having that wisdom or that clear comprehension, the knowing, is also happiness, because you know what it is. You have clear knowing, that what is happiness, what is not happiness, what is miseries, and what is right and what is wrong. And then your mind exactly knows it as it is. When your mind knows it, then there is no point of committing any wrong. The problem is when your mind is wise, your heart is wise, you see. So the Buddha says that the heart, the mind with wisdom is of great value. The mind with wisdom is of great value. Do you understand that? The mind with concentration is of great value. The mind with freedom from all kinds of afflictions, is great value. Because when your mind is reaching to this freedom state, then you are actually free. When I say free is not in terms of, not like, you have to really think in an ultimate sense, not in conventional ways, because here nobody is actually, binded with some sort of chain or like janjeer. Koi bandha nahi hai aapko. You're not. But we are all tied up in this cycle of samsara so much. So that is how we have to understand the dimension of freedom. Right? Now you are having some sort of freedom, right? You can imagine this is the experience of this freedom, We imagine the freedom when we get completely free from these bondages, let's say, and that is absolutely, you are no more binding to your conditioned things, your mind or your body or whatever. You are not conditioned to any kinds of world, anything. And that state is called the highest freedom. So the Buddha says the nippapancha sukhang loke, not to indulge in this prapancha, to get rid of this prapancha, is also highest kind of happiness. Or we can say nibbanang paramang sukhang. So I have explained to you what happiness is all about. How we can get happiness just by following our virtues. Because when you follow the virtues, you have happiness of non-remorse. You don't feel guilty anymore. Right? When you perform wrong, you feel guilty. You feel remorseful. Right? Am I right or not? Right? So, but when you follow Sila, you are get rid of that, and you have happiness of skillfulness, happiness of having uprightness, happiness of having a good manners, a good strong morals. So your heart, your mind has virtues. Then your mind has concentration. As I said, when you have concentrated, you have a little higher happiness. Bhavana sukha. Bhavana sukha. Don't think that by indulging in this everyday affairs, you are happy. But then why you are seeking for happiness again? If you are really happy, then our search must end. But does it end there? No. Since this pleasure has its own limitation, therefore we want a real happiness. The happiness which is not dependent on any kind of sensory reactions, sensory experiences. Nowadays we are so much addicted to listening so many things and news and this media, that media. But by the way, we actually lose a lot of our energies, a lot of our our mental energies. And we don't really find happiness. Lot of information just flows in to the mind, and then ultimately what we gain is nothing. Restlessness again. Restlessness. And you don't find even time to meditate. Therefore, meditation happiness, when you really know, since you don't know, but you have to really try to know. Since you don't know, you should know what it is. And to know that, you have to sit. Just sit quietly. Many times you don't really sit. You don't really sit at home. You have to sit. Time, get up early in the morning. Enough already. Enough sleeping now. Enough. You should have this enoughness, and then come, just sit down, and then be with your breath, or spread loving kindness to families. Nowadays, love is not so common. I mean, to get that metta is also a very rare thing. Metta is lacking in everywhere. Starting from your own family, there is no metta. Of course, maybe those who really know, they may spread that loving kindness and wish, may my family be happy, may my children be happy, and may all my relations be happy. But these things are uncommon. Since we don't really practice, in a given day, we have a lot of quarrels and arguments. We in the office or homes or anywhere, we have this disharmony because we really don't tolerate each other. We're trying to prove how great I am. How best person I am. But person having metta is the best person. He should have that metta. Mothers should have for the children. Children, brothers may have for the sisters. And to our workforce, maybe the boss should have to the subordinates and so on. So this is a form of, then you'll see your day, how it runs, how your days goes by, and you have a greater happiness. And you will see that most of the time you are mindful and you have metta. They are actually guiding the mind. What does is like somebody is throwing a light and you will see very clearly, right? So when you have this light and it gives you a focus, then you see the things very clearly. So that is the work of the mindfulness. It just gives you a focus. So bhavana is a sukha. Not to do wrong is a sukha. Having this wisdom in your heart is a sukha. And to get this, the highest bliss of nibbana. Anyway, nibbana is param sukhang, paramang sukhang. But to get that nibbana, as I said, don't aspire to the goal, but actually you should work on your path. When you're walking on this path, then you are reaching towards the goal. So it is not the goal matters, it is how consistently you practice, you focus on every day. As a common lay person, how you do, that matters. So this, I think already I have spoken half an hour, these teachings, a wonderful thing to contemplate upon. We have to contemplate that how this happiness actually derives. Now we may say, how the monks get happiness? They don't have any sort of entertainment and they look so bright and very happy, don't you? Are you happy? Oh, they're all happy. Are you happy? Maybe or may not be, yes or no, we don't know. So that means you have to, as I said, dana is good. To have charity, you have happiness. But the subsequent happiness, we should also go one step ahead. Right? And the heart with meditation is more powerful. The mind with wisdom and virtues and strength has more power. A mind with understanding, mind with absolute truth, truthfulness is more stronger. That is how we all should aspire for. So this is the message that Bhante has asked me to speak. So I rejoice with everybody and giving our blessings and anumodana for listening patiently and also joining this Kathina Jivaradhana. May you all grow in Dhamma. May the blessings of Triple Gem, the paramis of Triple Gem, and the protection of all divine beings surround your life with well-being, wisdom, and happiness. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
मोबाइल देना ना चार्ज में लगाए ना मोबाइल किधर है Okay, Bhante ji, thank you for your Dhamma talk on happiness. So we all want happiness, you know. As Buddha said, I teach only two things: dukkhan jeva panya pemi, dukkha sacha nirodho. What is suffering and what is the end of suffering? Actually, we don't even know we are suffering, isn't it? For example, let's say socially, if you look at it, say somebody is going through certain social injustices, you know, so they are not even aware of it. Many of people who are less privileged, you know, they don't even know that it is an injustice, you know, and somebody has to come and say, you are going through some injustices. Then they will be like, oh, I'm under injustice, you know, I have to do something about it. And then there is a way for it. There is a law, there is an all rights and other thing, fundamental right and other thing. In the same way, Buddha comes to us say, hello, you are all suffering, there is some problem, everything is not so well, so please wake up, you know, jag jaiye, you know. So when Buddha comes and says that to us, you know. So we are addicted to suffering itself, you know, sometimes. You know, there was this very funny story where one lady, she comes to the monastery and she listened to some Dhamma, and the monks is telling, you know, come out of suffering and everything, and she says, how can you take out my pain? You know, it's my, they like it, you know. Sometimes people like to suffer, you know, just enjoy the suffering because that is the identity. You know, if you have suffering, that's like psychologically, it's almost like our identity. We feel something when we are suffering. So this is the problem, and it's a very deep thing actually. You may say suffering, you know, a very simple thing, but there is some deeper, you know, at the level of mind. So Bhante mentioned that. Thank you, Bhante ji, for your Dhamma. Bhante ji originally from Orissa, you know. So, yeah, we are not only from, you know, one place. You think we are only from northeast, but Bhante is Kalinga northeast. Orissa. Another Bhante from Bengal. Our another Bhante from Karnataka. So we have Bhantes from all different places. So it's a very good thing. We all India is here. So in Mahabodhi. So yes. So Bhante has been monk for a long time. He has been teaching in Mahabodhi, Bangalore. He travels for teaching other places as well. And now he is going for a 1 month retreat in one and a half month meditation in Thailand. so for his happiness, so that he can give us some happiness. So very nice to hear. And we have some other Bantes also who shared this morning, but I think we will come to conclusion. This is every Sunday program, so we all have come. So now, before we conclude, we have some pleasant thing to do. We have to do a blessing for some of our donor. Certificate. Okay, वो कर देंगे ना? Yes. Then I now, before that, I hand over to Jinawangsa Bante, principal, our MMI, for this certificate, awarding certificate. So please conduct. I request to conduct the this. वहाँ mic है ना, ले लीजिए.
Namo Buddhaya. I pay my homage to all the Bantes here and greetings to everyone. So I request, before request to Banteji, just I want to tell that our student have memorized whole Dhammapada, entire Dhammapada from Tipitaka. It is a very small book, and some of the students memorized Bhikkhu rules, Patimukha. So it is a great day. We have all the Bantes from the headquarters, Bangalore. So I request Bantejis to give the certificates. I request Buddhadatta Banteji to give certificate to Samnera Sharman Karuna Ditti.
Dhammapada has 423 gathas, slokas. So he has memorized the whole. Is it Dhamma? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes. 423 sloka is a very big number. So
I request Sugadananda Banteji to give certificate to Arya Vangsa, novice Arya Vangsa.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I request Ananda Banteji to give certificate to novice Nando.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I request Kalyana Siri Banteji, Buddhapala Banteji to give certificate to novice Sanghavangsa. I request Venerable Kobida Bante to give certificate to novice Silachara. I request Venerable Ratna Sila Banteji to give certificate to novice Jinaloka. Again, I request Venerable Sugadananda Banteji to give certificate to novice Panyavangsa. Now I request Venerable Buddha Balabanti ji to give certificate to Dhamma Kirti. Now I request Buddhadatta Bante ji to give certificate to Sangha Tilaka. I request Buddhadatta Bante ji, to give certificate to Sharman Upasanto, novice Upasanto. Now I request Ananda Bante ji to give certificate to Satipanyo. Again, I request Ananda Bante ji to give certificate to Sumangalo. Mahathera Bante ji के पास होगा. So I request Satchapala to receive this certificate on behalf of Sangha Sumangalo. He is taking care of Mahathera Bante ji. I request Buddhapala Bante ji to give certificate to Nyanuttara. I request Sugatananda Bante ji to give certificate to Buddha Vangsa. Now we have two more certificate. These certificate are Patimokkha certificate. So I request Ananda Bante ji to give certificate of Patimokkha to novice Jinaloka. Now I request Buddhadatta Bante ji to give certificate of Patimokkha to novice Bodhisena.
Dhammapada is not small thing, very big book. So, yes. Actually, these two Dhammapada, Patimokkha, I will explain. So, Dhammapada is 423 slokas, gathas we call it. Each is usually four lines, some are more also, but most of them has 4 lines, so these are 423 in 26th chapter. It's a very popular book. You can also see in our bookstore. And our teacher, after reading Dhammapada, he became much interested in Buddha Dhamma, and that's how he later joined monkhood. So that inspired him, and that's how we celebrate our teacher's birthday as Dhammapada festival, you see, in the March. And the Patimokha, and this Dhammapada is very interesting because each sloka there is a background story behind, right? It's not like a random thing Buddha just told, right? There is a episode behind, there is a story behind. Something happened, some incident happened, and then Buddha will give one teaching, one sloka, based on that teaching, For example, he says, Nahi verena verani sammantita kudachanam averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano, sanatan dharma, Sanatan dharma is, hatred is never appeased by hatred, only by non-hatred, hatred is appeased. That is the Sanatana dharma according to Buddha. And there is a story behind. The story is like, two ladies fighting from life after life, right? Until Buddha saved them. Otherwise, they were just taking revenge to each other. So be careful when you think of taking revenge to each other. It is not going to, it is not going to end anytime soon. It is going to come life after life, life after life, life after life. So just leave all the hatred, anger, and love, compassion. Because even if you have good love and compassion, then you will have good friends, and they will also come life after life. Both will come. Up to you which one to choose. Entirely up to you. Okay? No force. Huh? So, like this, every shloka there is a story. And those stories are again not like a created story. They are actual, real incident that happened in Buddha's time. So, a very interesting, very common, a lot of common people stories. It's a day-to-day common stories of people, but Buddha also tells sometime about the past life of those people. So it's a very interesting book. You can check in our bookstore. There is a story also, in Telugu also, English also. Telugu Dhammapadam is a thick one. Each there's story behind, In Telugu, even the slokas are also explained, So please see that book. It's a very interesting. And our monks, they all by-hearted. I also by-hearted when I was a novice. And still today I remember the gathas. It has not gone from my mind. So that's how I teach when I teach you. I speak to you from that. So it's very helpful for future because to speak Dhamma, it's very helpful. There is story. So that is the one. And second is called Patimokha. So Patimokha actually, they are the rules of the monks. You all have only 5 rules. Okay? Don't kill, don't steal, don't, no sexual misconduct, no lie, no alcohol. That's it. If you can maintain that, good enough, For monks, 227. So those rules, monks, they have to by heart because they have to follow the rules, right? So those rules, again, Buddha did not put any rule by himself. Some situation happened and he puts the rule. So some monks do some mistake, Buddha comes to know about it and he puts a rule. From today, don't do like this. But most of them are very, very day-to-day common kind of, some of them etiquette, some of them like a day-to-day thing. It's not very, for example, there is a rule which says all the furnitures of the vihara should not be kept exposed to sun because it will be spoiled. So it should be put inside. Like there is a 2 floor, so when you are up on the floor, you shouldn't run, up and down, and you shouldn't run or walk making sound because the people sitting on the down will be disturbed. So that is also one rule. And while eating, you should not make the sound, or drinking like that. Those things you should not do. Na chapu chapu karakang, na suru suru karakang. Suru suru means like this, slurping. So these are the etiquette and other thing, right? So those rules are there. So monks have to maintain a very high standard of human behavior. So that is the rule. So they have by-hearted only 2. So only 2, You all, everybody should complete soon, So that's a very important thing, right? So monks, see, as a monk, you have a certain way of, behaving. We can't just behave like anything, We are monks, so we have to have this thing very lot of our. For that, as Upasaka, Upasika also should in some way know some of the rules and accordingly support. Yeah? So very important, these two for our monks. So our monks, they have a very strict system and discipline and teaching morning till evening. Don't think that we monks are simply just wasting time, no? We have a very proper schedule and examination and everything very well organized, So that is the life of a monk, and we should have more and more monks so that we can, there will be more peace in the world, more teaching, more help, more support in the world. So very important, the training of monks, by our teacher, started by our teacher for the happiness of the country, basically to, to spread Dhamma, and why we have to spread Dhamma, so that there will be more happiness and more peace, more joy in the world. You see, that is the main. There is no other purpose, So this is some words here. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now let us do a blessing for all the people who, some of the people who have not come, but they have done some good, dana for today's program. So, Upasanto, one video, we will do a short 3-minute video. Please come, and then we conclude. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. Venerable Bhantes, Upasakas, Upasikas. So today many people have made dana donation so that this program could be successfully performed. So many, of course, hundreds of people have supported, have done dana in their own way. But to mention some of them, some of the people who have not come, who are far away, but they still contributed. Kota Rameshji, who has supported for the lunch dana to everyone, more than 700-800 people. And our Chandra Senji for the flowers and lights offering today. And Upasika Devarati Banerjee, and Pentapati Manorama Amagaru, and Sudhanshu from US, who have offered some 55 chivaras, and Shapan Kumar Barua for some good dana, in the sense a huge dana, and Dr. Sangeeta Moon and family for giving water dana today to everybody, Vishwa Bharati Amma and family for their dana, and morning breakfast dana by Upasika Aishwarya, and then another dana and medicine dana and bhojan dan by Upasika Pentapati Manorama and family. And those you all have, some of you have, most of you have not been able to participate because you are far, but you have still did dana. So we all monks wish, by the blessing of this dana, may you all be happy, healthy, peaceful and joyful. May you all be free from harm, danger, sickness and worries. May you all progress on the path of Dhamma and achieve the ultimate happiness of Nibbana. With this intention, all the Bhantes, I request all the Bhantes to give a blessing for all our donors today. And also our Upasika Shivani for your special volunteers today at the counter there at the book. And all other Upasakas, Upasikas who are here. Also, we do a blessing for all of you who are present here now. We also do blessing for your happiness as well. Sabbe thiyo vivajan sabbarogo vinasatho mate bhavatu vantarayo sukhe deghayo ko bhav abhivada Nechang Buddha Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vardhanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balanti Ayu Arogya Sampat Sagga Sampati Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampati Imenate Saminjatote Sadhu Sadhu. Let us also share this punya, whatever we have performed from morning till evening, all kinds of punya by offering dana, by listening to Dhamma, by meditating, by volunteering, serving, by rejoicing in others' goodness, all the goodness we have done from morning to evening. Let us share with all the beings in the world, in the universe, for every single beings, for their happiness. Let us bring in mind the wellness of all the beings in the whole universe. Sukhe bhave nichang ahang viya hita cha me sukhe honto Majjata chataverino imam he gama ketam he satta honto sukhe sada tato paranchara jeso chakhavale sujantano Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we thank all of you for coming and listening and participating morning till evening, and some of you in the evening. And we welcome you to participate on every Sunday program. This is every Sunday program as well. Chanting, meditation, and listening to Dhamma. So please do come, check out our bookstore where you can find books there, and our YouTube also, where all the videos are available of past Sundays. And there is every evening of 6 o'clock chanting and meditation as well. So you are welcome to join in that program. And on second, I'm leaving for Bangalore for 5 days meditation there. There we have a meditation center in Bangalore, in the outskirts of Bangalore, peaceful place. So any one of you who are interested can register and can join. So it's a nice place there. So you will be getting meditation practice there. So you can do that as well. And keep coming, keep practicing, keep progressing in happiness, in joy, in Dhamma. So with this we conclude. I thank one and all, and special thanks to all the guest Bhantes from Bangalore for coming all the way from here and blessing us, teaching us. So with a special thanks to then Bhantes and to every one of you. So keep coming. See you next time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next Sunday, okay? Not next time, not Indian.